This video tutorial is brought to you by JimmyR.com, the best of the internet. This is a general video tutorial on hacking. It'll teach you what you need to learn and what tools you need to use to be a good hacker. Even if you don't plan on doing anything illegal with this information, it will give you a better understanding about how it works and even how to maybe protect your own programs in the future. So the first thing I need to say is learn hexadecimal. That's the first step in learning how to be a hacker. Basically, when I open any executable program with a hex editor, I can see that the data is stored not in ones and zeros, but hexadecimal. So I want you to learn hexadecimal. Google search Wikipedia hexadecimal, but it'll give you a good overview. Basically, hexadecimal goes from 0 to 9, and then starts counting with letters. Yeah, it's weird, I know. So 7, 8, 9, and then it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, and then it starts at 1, 0. So read up on hexadecimal. Basically, if you want to modify files, if you want to modify the memory, which is very needed in hacking, you're going to need to learn hexadecimal. Now, the next step is learn assembly. Assembly is basically the lowest level programming language you can get. Always check the external links here. This Wikipedia page gives you a basic overview about what is assembly. Then I want you to go search FASM, which is a flat assembler. It's actually a program that compiles assembly. But the important part about this website is go to documentation and flat assembler programming manual, and this basically teaches you the assembly programming language. It has all the mnemonics, all the information you could ever want to know about assembly. However, it's pretty difficult to understand, so do your best. It can take a long time to learn assembly. So, assembly, learn assembly. Anything is open source when you learn assembly. However, let's say I programmed something in C programming. If I compile it and disassemble it into assembly, then the actual source code may be 2,000 lines, whereas the C source code may be 100 lines. This is because C programming and higher level languages have built-in subroutines that do a lot of the stuff for you. For example, C++ is even heavier because it has built-in garbage collection to avoid memory leaks. But anyways, you have to learn assembly. It's a mouthful. Step 3, learn TCP/IP packets. Learn about TCP/IP protocol. Again, Wikipedia. TCP/IP. There's no lack of information on this because this is the foundation of the internet. Basically, any file you send, any message you send is transported using TCP/IP packets. Internet Protocol Suite, IP Suite, whatever. Transmission Control Protocol, TCP. So you can learn about all this stuff very easily. There's no lack of documentation on this stuff. Okay. So learn TCP/IP packets. If you learn TCP/IP packets and you know hexadecimal, then you'll be able to modify TCP/IP packets using sockets. What sockets allow you to do is send custom TCP/IP packets. Basically, let's say you're playing, I don't know, World of Warcraft. I don't play that game, by the way. And you're walking around. You click somewhere and it walks to that direction, or I don't know. What it just did when you click something is it sent a TCP/IP packet. If you can modify the TCP/IP packets using sockets, you can basically make it move on its own. You can make it maybe say stuff on its own, auto battle, auto mine, whatever. The next thing you need to learn, the next thing you need to do is get the tools to hack. The first set of programs is basically checks the memory. They're called debuggers. They can read the memory on your computer, and you can manipulate it there or just read it. The most common way hackers use these programs is, for example, let's say they say enter your name and serial number. Okay, I get a program that's shareware, and I enter my name and a fake serial number. I enter gibberish. What the program does when I click OK is it parses my name into some kind of algorithm and generates a real serial number. So it makes a real serial number and it puts it in the memory. It saves the real serial number into a variable, which is then put into the memory. So here it has the real serial number, and then it compares to my serial number I just entered, the fake one. However, because it has the real serial number in the memory of the program, I can just copy it from the memory and automatically have my serial number. So it's pretty useful. They can basically register programs without actually having to hack them. This is called this is why there's so many serial numbers rather than keygens. The way they generate keygens is they use another set of tools. Well, let me go over these first. Softice is the one people prefer for Windows, except it's notoriously difficult to install on XP. There's a clone of it called Raster Ring Debugger. However, it's only given out as source code. LinIce is a clone of Softice for Linux. Okay, the next set of programs is called disassemblers. What disassemblers allow you to do is they grab any executable and turn it into the assembly programming languages. So basically they can make keygens and stuff, basically figuring out what math the program does to generate serial numbers and etc. If you learn assembly and you can use these disassemblers, there's no limit to what you can do to the program. Okay, there's IDA Pro, which is a Windows one. It's really high feature. PE Explorer, W32 disassembler, and Bastard disassembler for Linux. Like I said, the executable programs can be turned into assembly language. The only annoying part is that the code that's generated is a lot of lines of code depending on the size of the program. You can have easily 5,000 lines of assembly code. That's why hackers like to use hex editors to check the text, to search for certain text that may be in the program. That may say, thank you for registering and stuff like that, to make it easier to find the correct lines of hex code. To find the correct lines of assembly code to do what they need to do. And the last set of programs is basically networking tools. They basically allow you to analyze incoming and outgoing network packets, TCP/IP packets, which allows you to manipulate online games and stuff like that. The first program is called TCP dump. It's built into Linux, basically. There's a port of it to Windows called WinDump. And the next one is a fully featured program, I think, for I don't know if it was made with WX widgets, but I know it works on both Windows and Linux. Maybe other operating systems too, I don't know. But it's called Wireshark, and it has a very nice graphical interface for analyzing TCP/IP packets. Again, if you use sockets in programming, you can modify and send your own TCP/IP packets. Even PHP and Python have sockets, so you don't need a very low-level programming language to use sockets. This has been a video tutorial by JimmyR.com. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked my videos, please subscribe. I have many more useful videos. YouTube.